last minute cancellations with presenters, it was nice to be able to give you a little bit more time. I know why you're going to choose a Catholic venue, sorry. But it was fascinating to hear about the statistics and everything, so really appreciate that. I think a slight change of direction or pace here. So we have a presentation and there's yarn scattered, so I'm very intrigued of what's about to happen. And I hand over to you.
Okay, great. Hi everybody, thanks very much for having me. So I'm not going to do a PowerPoint because I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what we do in the resilience department. And the best way for me to do that is to actually make you do all the hard work. So each little group has a ball of yarn, when you would. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about three, or off the top of your head in your little group, three of the things that you think impact the city or an urban environment the most. So whether you think it's food insecurity or crime and violence or poor public transport, what in your little group do you think are the three things that impact a city or an urban environment most negatively? Because I only have 7 minutes, you only have 1. So please come.
I'm not. I just say fire. Yeah. Fire, flood, and crime. The three that come to mind for me are always fire, flooding, and crime. Fire, flooding, and crime.
Three things that your group feels impacts the city most negatively.
Service delivery, more than
That's a good one.
more than flooding, it's service delivery.
Yeah, I guess fire, flooding, and crime. Which is the same. Food insecurity.
Flooding is often, is the cause for flooding is often the service delivery.
That's right. And fire.
Okay.
Housing.
You can ask housing. Write them down really quickly.
Housing and services.
Just three per group. So you've got three per group. Fadila doing the right thing? Or doing the right thing? Yeah. Three.
I said urbanization. Urbanization is life, and then you said
Okay guys, sorry, I don't have much time. So, Joshua, I'm going to start with your table. Can you tell me the top 3 things that your group thought impacted the city most negatively?
Top 3 things for our group was urbanization, climate change, crime and violence.
Okay, group 2.
Crime, politics, and technology.
Crime, politics, okay. Okay, and last one.
And then disaster.
Or radicalization.
Okay, alright. This group, Masi.
Hi ma'am, we have rapid urbanization,
Okay, same.
which gives birth to a ton.
Okay.
One of those being service delivery, another one being food insecurity.
Food insecurity, okay? Second.
urbanization,
Yeah.
unemployment, and crime.
Sure. Okay, so okay, you can hold that ball of yarn. Okay, you're going to hold the end, right? And you're going to go with urbanization, right? And you're going to throw that ball of yarn to Sunday and he's going to catch it. Exactly. And we had political instability or something here, right? François? And you are also going to throw to Sunday. Okay, Sunday, you had unemployment.
I said unemployment.
Yeah. So we're just going to choose unemployment, and then you're going to hold the ends. Okay, Mark. And then you're going to throw this across either to Francois or, and then over here, Masi, you had food insecurity as one of yours. So you're going to hold the end, and you're going to throw this. I think Francois, I'm going to have to ask you to come stand over here. And then you're going to throw it to Francois. Okay? As soon as you're ready, get going.
Things are a bit counted.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah. was your one, and then you're going to throw that one to your floor. Okay? Okay. If you are holding an end or a ball or something, please take a step back so that the wool becomes, or yarn becomes controlled. Oh, and then there was supposed to hold that. Oh, there we go. Someone's got to step back. Stand back. So who's got this? You just step back.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the urban structure, right? With all the different kinds of things. So we've had crime and violence, food insecurity, we've had political instability, and service delivery. We've had a whole bunch of different ones. And what we do in the resilience department is we try and understand what those connections are. So we sit somewhere in between policy and research, but not quite in any of those. We don't offer anything, so unlike my colleagues who actually are out on the field doing probably the hardest work around service delivery, we don't do that. But we try and ask questions that we hope will help with future planning and future thinking. Now, I don't have the answers, because this is the other part that always comes. So, what do we do about food insecurity? I don't know, there's not one singular answer. But the idea is trying to understand that intersection. And that's what we try and do and unpack. So when it comes to something like fire, I can't say our unit delivers X, because we don't. But the questions we ask are, how does fire impact GBV? Right? How does fire impact food insecurity? And so often, what we're trying to look for are patterns and trying to unpack that in some kind of way. Because we are not an implementing department, we don't have a budget to implement. So I can't say we are rolling out this project. What our department does is it looks for partners. So that's why we try and make very good friends with our service delivery departments and say, hi, we have this idea, and we think that you should think about GBV in the context of a fire. And we'd like you to maybe do this for us. And then we come along and say, what we'd like to do is a reflective learning exercise. And we'd like you to tell us how it went implementing this. What were the lessons learned? And then we try and document that and then take that as a learning throughout the entire organization through the other sister departments. So what we are currently working on, oh sorry, you want to sit down. Okay. What we are currently working on primarily at the moment has to do with heat. And our kind of big projects, or our one big project we're trying to roll out is called Be a Buddy. If this works, so this was Be a Buddy came up from New York City. Not at the time of Eric Adams, that's when it got cancelled. The mayor of work at no, not Be, Be a Buddy. No, we're not that cool, but thanks for thinking of us. Like, we're the party. We're not party. And what that is trying to do is think about how people can support the elderly or people with any kind of disability around food. But this is still a work in progress. We are working with a number of NGOs that work in the climate change space to try and see if we can roll this out. If it works, then we can bring it here and see how it might be able to work in the fire space. But like I said, it's still baby steps, very, very early on, so I don't have any learnings to share with you today, other than to say that this is something we're thinking about, we're trying to roll it out, we're trying to see how it works. We obviously don't have the budget of New York City, which, you know, pretty much in the way their Be a Buddy worked was, if you needed an air conditioner, you could apply to the city and the municipality would give you money for an air conditioner. So, not quite there. But we are trying to see how it could work in the context of Cape Town. And I hope that in a couple of months, I'll be invited back, and then I will have a PowerPoint presentation, and I will be able to see these are the lessons